Well, this is Margaret Schlachter here with Mud Run Guide. I am with Marco Bedard. Marco, you are basically the founder here of the Northman Race coming up, and then you do all these other like innovations and concept designs for all these other events under the company that the Northman Race is under. So thanks for being here and talking to us and talking about what you're up to these days.
It's my pleasure.
So, I mean, you've got a long background. For those that don't know in the industry, like you've been on the Canadian national team for biathlon. You went to the Vancouver Olympics and represented Canada. So you know a thing or two about sport. And then you found obstacle racing in 2011, where we actually met each other in Vermont at the first Spartan Beast. And then since then, you know, you've been with Battle Frog. You've been worked with a lot of different companies and transitioned now kind of into the back end of everything. So do you want to tell us a little bit about what you're up to these days?
Yeah, I'm up to a lot of things, I guess, but still loving sports and still enjoying a lot of different things that the North here has to offer. The last few years has been really crazy with the team, with Battle Frog, and then with working for them as well. And then right after when Battle Frog stopped, I had an opportunity to work as a building a new race with this company called Just Run up here in Quebec. So that meant no more flying all around, like staying home and working from home and building my schedule and really being able to sign up to winter races, which I love doing. And there's so many races, so many different sports out here that I just really wanted to keep going and loving sports and trying to figure out like cool stuff about all those sports, like little things that, you know, you do a ski joring competitions with a dog that's pulling you on cross country skiing, and the guys who do this sport, they have good ideas too, but like we don't really think about it when we're doing a building an obstacle race. But that's why I really love to do different things like that, just to get ideas and what's cool about it, what I love here and there, and then trying to bring it to a different level. So, yeah.
Awesome. So tell me a little bit about the Northman Race. I mean, you and I have talked about it offline together, but I'm really excited how you're kind of bringing the culture of Canada and like the logging industry and, you know, bringing that into the obstacle racing world. So can you talk about like how this idea developed and how you've been working on it?
Yeah, first of all, my grandfather, like almost every single French Canadian, was a logger. He was in the forest industry, and he worked on a lumberjack camp, if we can still call them like that. And it always was interesting me. Like I was always curious of this type of work, and I always loved the outdoors and the forest and all that. So I was always interested in kind of checking it out and knowing what's going on. What used to be back in the 1800s, 1900s, and what it is now. And with Battle Frog at the end, when I got more comfortable of designing stuff and things like that, I was trying to use this old Canadian fashion or even North American logging industry things to bring it to obstacle racing. And we've tried a few things with Battle Frog, and I think people really liked it, especially in the race in Squamish near Vancouver, where there was lots of woods and lots of history there too. So I think people liked it, and as soon as I got the opportunity to kind of build the race from scratch, it was easy in my mind that was going to be how I wanted to do it, and kind of pay respect to our roots and to my roots and to many North Americans and most of the Canadians and even more in French Canada. So from there it was actually fairly easy because I was interested. I knew a lot about the logging industry back in the days, and so I just got into books and started studying the history of how it was back then, and I just got more and more respect over these guys. All the loggers back then, and that really strike a stroke like a fire or something, and where I was like, it's I don't want to use that as, because right now it's à la mode. It's beards and flannel and stuff like that. Like, people wear it just because they think it looks cool, but we don't want to be like that. So I'm really trying to bring a cultural side more than what do you call it, a trade? Or,
then just like the vision, or just like the facade of what it looks like. And
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that people actually learn something, and people get together, and actually already with the small events we've done, every time, like, we talk to people about it, and we're like, just ask your dad or your uncles or your grandparents, and you'll see that most people have roots like really close into this industry, and like we said earlier, like you don't really have to go and look like thousands of years ago to trying to find like some badass people. Like your grandfather is already one of them, and nowadays they're like, it seems like they're really humble, and they don't really want to talk about it, just because I don't know, in Vermont but out here it got in a little bit of a controversy back in the 70s, and so they stopped like being proud of it, I guess, and they just change jobs, or so now I think it's good to try to give a little shot at our grandparents and our heritage.
I love it. Yeah. So I mean, in taking that, you're taking history, and then what are some of the ways do you have, or some of the obstacles that like you've kind of created or you have written down that you guys are going to produce to kind of take that history and then put it into a race format?
Yeah, that's a hard part, because back then the loggers were really it was a really risky job. There was a lot of mortality, and there's a lot of really dangerous stuff they were doing. So even now, I mean, it's different now, but it's still really physical and quite dangerous. So where the challenge is to bring the feeling into that theme without compromising the security of the racers. So there's a lot of I've got about 60, 65 even obstacles like designed, and then we go through the whole wheel to make sure it's doable, it's safe, and it's also Mr. and like my mom and dad will be able to do them, as well as the big champions. So that's why we're kind of doing a double day, where the Saturday is easier and everything is a little bit easier and it's not timed or anything, and then the Sunday we bring it up a notch, and then it's timed, and there's prize money and age groups and all that. So that way we're able to kind of bring the challenge to a different level on the Sunday, and but it's without bringing anything, without announcing anything that I'm not comfortable announcing. That if you look up on the site or on Facebook and stuff, there's already a few obstacles that we brought out. Axe throwing is one of them, even if it's not really something that the guys would do back in the days, but it's we wanted to use an axe and to use it as safely as possible, so we found a way to do that, which is really fun and really interesting for the people, for the runners to actually throw an axe, and they're really scared, but then they do it and they feel like really good about it. So, and it's actually really easy. So
it's easy / hard depending on how you throw the axe.
Yeah, but the way we do it is actually fairly easy. It's about 90% of the people can land it on the second throw. So it's
awesome.
So it's we can't really take risks, and but there's gonna be options for people who actually have that skill already, or are game to try it. So for every obstacles, basically, there's going to be options. So extreme options or like easy options. So that's going to be an interesting point as well. So
yes, yeah. So I guess talk a little bit. Can you talk a little bit? You just mentioned it before, but about your format. So Saturday is going to be a non-competitive day. And then Sunday is going to be the competitive day. Are you guys going for like mandatory obstacle completion? Are you guys going to have like a penalty, or do you have all that figured out yet? Because I know the first race is still a little bit away.
The first race is in May, and the first race is we're gonna actually test out a totally new concept. I believe I haven't seen it. I've searched everywhere, and I haven't seen this type of concept, which we're gonna keep as a little bit of a secret until we do it, because we don't want people to do it before. But this should be actually really interested for the Sunday guys. So the people that are already racing OCR, this should be really something new for them that I really enjoy in different sports that I haven't seen it in OCR. So I think this could be really interesting. And then the Saturday is really all about the theme. So people dress up, and they're just having fun, and they don't have to do any obstacles if they don't want to. It's really a fun run, and it's 6 kilometers. And on the Sunday we take it up a notch, and again, like about 2.5 kilometers more, but like really tough kilometers. And all the obstacles that we're able to modify, we modify them. And it's all mandatory. So and there's actually a different thing where it's not you don't get a penalty if you can't do something. You get a reward if you can do something.
Okay.
So there's going to be what I was talking about, those options. Once people see what they are, and if they're game to actually give it a try, then they might get rewarded from it. So that's going to be more the opposite way of what we're used to. And with that concept, it should work really well. And then from there, we're going to decide if we keep it that way, because that could shock a couple people the way we're going to do it, and it's definitely not going to be easy. So it should be interesting. But yeah, Saturday is all classic.
Cool.
It's a fully classic fun run, and Sunday it's going to be different, and especially for the really the pro semi-pros or actual pros, and then for the rest of the day it's going to be a little different, but mostly for the first couple guys. So
excellent. So where can people find out more information if they are interested, they want to sign up, they want to see some of those obstacles? Where are the best places for people to head to?
Social media, I guess. Facebook. It's mostly, the company is all French, so that's definitely, as of right now. And like you said before, I work on different project with that event company, so it's really hard to keep everything bilingual as of now. But on the website for the tickets and stuff, there's a link in English where everything is kind of French and English. But on Facebook, most of it is, I think it's really French, but you can still get some photos and videos of little things we've done. We try to do a couple of activation, like we go as how do you call it? We go to events to kind of promote our event.
Uh-huh.
So,
yeah.
We don't just go with a tent and give flyers. We actually make an experience out of it so that people remember us. So if you look at pictures, you'll see us like wearing our flannel and with axes and big buck saws and like really antique stuff and wood fire in what we call a truie. It's like it would be like a pork or something like that. But anyways, it's just a type of really old wood stove. So yeah, we try to bring that experience all around to bring the team to the maximum for the races. But yeah, and I guess those races, to kind of clarify too, is what I don't want to do is to stop at OCR with this project. So it's a big project all around sports. and we start with OCR, but we're gonna announce like soon some other events we're gonna do, which will be part of the Northman lifestyle, which back then the guys were super agile, super strong, and really amazing people all around, and amazing eater as well. So we're gonna play with that a little bit with different events as well. So.
Well, it sounds great. And I guess the one last question I have is that since you guys are a Canadian company, French Canadian company, I know
Yeah.
Claude, your other half, has a history in this as well. So is there going to be maple syrup at the Northman Race?
Oh, come on. Is that a question? Of course. I just saw something funny yesterday where on TV, which we don't have TV, but we're out at a restaurant, and they were talking about how much syrup was consumed everywhere in the world. And the province here, like the state of Quebec, consumes on average 750 millimeter, which is a bottle of wine per year, which I thought was not much because I probably consume 5 bottles of wine per year of maple syrup. But yeah, the second biggest was the rest of Canada was like 70 millimeters.
Oh,
And then
wow.
this was like 25 or something. And I
Yeah.
was like, really? Okay, we we do drink a lot of maple syrup, but we like there's so much here and it's so cheap that I guess. But of course, there's actually going to be something interesting for finishers instead of a classic beer, which might happen as well. But people are going to be having crepes at the end. Yeah, so
Yum.
kind of like the lumberjack used to eat 9,000 calories a day. So we're gonna try to not beat that, but bring something more to the whole experience. So, and of course with maple syrup.
Excellent. Well, everybody, Marco, thanks so much. And everybody, check out the Northman Race. The first one is in May. And if you're anywhere around the Northeast or you want to make a trip, your courses have been great in the past. So I know it's going to be a great course. And thanks so much for talking to us about it.
Thank you.